Rhythm is life. Rhythm is soul. I say let's get it right this time. Let love unfold.
I just wanted to share that, there's lots of people saying lots of things, but something happened 25 years ago after a series of deaths in the family. Something just went whoosh. And for 3 months, I knew something was gone. I couldn't figure out what was missing. Something was missing. I kept saying, it's all gone quiet. It's all gone quiet. And people kept saying, oh, that's nirvana, And I said, what's that? Because I had no religious background.
Yeah.
I had no spiritual training. I had nothing. And then I was drawn to reading a few things.
Yeah.
Then I realized that large parts of the storytelling machine that was going on had gone.
Yeah.
And I was here for the first time.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
It was like looking at the world through a fog, and the fog had lifted.
Yeah.
The fog had just lifted.
I often refer to it as though I had cling wrap.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And all of a sudden,
right.
cling
wrap
is lifted, and you're like, oh my God. Yeah.
And I had no context because I had no religious or spiritual background.
Yeah.
And so I started reading bits and pieces here and there, Eckhart Tolle, and this, that. And then the pieces began to fall into place that, and then I got very strange insights, like everything is whole and complete, where was that coming from? And these things would come out of my mouth at the strangest times. And
Tell me about it.
One day I said, in the middle of a dinner party, there were 6 of us, and everybody was having a rollicking good time. And I said, the world is a dream.
Yeah.
And they looked at me very strangely, and I didn't
know they did.
But I very quickly learned to keep my mouth shut. I realized it's better not to say this. So, but one thing came through very clearly, that every time the mind started up and started playing, I began to recognize the tricks it was playing. It continued. It still had its bag of tricks. It doesn't go away that easily. Yeah. So I began to recognize that, okay, you're up to your old tricks again. I need to stay home and not follow you, And this kept happening. Nobody was doing anything. It just kept happening, and something kept getting cut off, if you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
10 years ago, everything just went quiet. Now, if you want me to think, I'll have to start, I have to make an effort to, except for functional thoughts, like I need to pay my bill, or, I need to cook a meal, or, well, I'm retired now, so I don't have to think about work, but, do I need to send a gift or a birthday gift to somebody? But all that baggage just gone. And I began to realize, but you're right when you say that people point, but some pointers are very convoluted. I've been listening and reading a bit, but some of them, I think they are all hinting at eventually what can't really be named or described. And I admire the people who are able to talk about it. It's, because I struggle, and I stopped struggling. I just keep silent. I don't have what it takes, because, as you said, it all gets resolved, right there in that in silence.
Yeah.
Silence. For me, it was always the silence will take care of it.
Yeah.
And it became so real, the silence. It just took care of it, Yeah. But I've learned to keep my mouth shut socially. You become an outcast very quickly.
Look, I keep my mouth shut socially too.
And people think you're trivializing their problems, and that's something I've run into. when you try and make an attempt, then people say, oh, but you're trivializing it. You just, you don't know how real the suffering is. And yes, for them it is real because they're stuck in their heads. It was real for me when I was stuck in my head. So I understand.
Or look, and given that you know that, you've got to empathize.
Yes, I do. So I just keep quiet and listen. I may say something, but this I don't touch on. And when I want to hear what I know is true, I come to communities like this where, I can listen, and because I do need that. Otherwise, you get very isolated. You're talking about buying the next car and the next,
Well, like that you're right. Apart from here, when I come here, or apart from when I'm doing one-on-ones with people, apart from that, any other human beings that I happen to be rubbing shoulders with or just out about their meeting, they're all asleep.
Yes.
I mean that literally.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Exactly what you mean.
They're all asleep and they think they're awake. They think they're awake and they're asleep and they don't know it. Yeah. Every now and then, I don't know if you've experienced it, but every now and then I'll come across a person that's really clear and bright and extraordinarily present. And they look you straight in the eye and a big smile on their face. They have a lovely beingness about them. I've probably met half a dozen people like that.
That's right. They're few and far between.
So few and far between. And there's just an instant connection.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
It's just the pure recognition.
Yes. Something resonates somewhere. As you said, it just lands. When you hear something, it just lands. You don't have to be told why, where, when, how, nothing. Just lands. And other bits just sound, when people talk, even on this subject, sound like absolute nonsense. They're going round in circles, and after a while, and you're thinking, oh, shut up. This is so direct. I think, Terry, it's so simple. The mind can't get it.
It's so simple.
So incredibly simple.
I know.
It's very simplicity.
I know.
It's completely simple, and it's also vast. It's both.
Yes.
It's so vast, and it is so simple. It's at both ends, it's too much for the human mind.
Yeah.
And that's why you hear traditions that say the mind can't go there, and it can't. It can't. It's the doorway, the I am is probably the doorway where the mind just has to give up and leave its shoes outside and stay outside. I think it's
the closest we can come, which is I am.
Yes.
If we're going to utter it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
already lost something.
It's as close. Yes. Look, I am is a pointer.
Yes.
It's still not it.
Every word, you're one step away.
I know.
Anything you say, what you said 10 minutes back, you utter it and you're thinking, no, this is all wrong, So I admire people like, there's one question I had. There are people who talk about, Tony Parsons, Jim Newman, they hint at a contraction in the body, that it's a contraction. In my perception, it's more a sort of something in the head. It's a very dense, that's how I experienced it today.
Actually, people usually experience it either in the head or in the body.
Or in both, perhaps, maybe.
Well, usually one or the other.
For me, it was completely in the head. It was like a screen, like a thick screen of thought. Obviously, which I wasn't aware of at all. I didn't even know it was thought. I didn't know what it was.
You don't know.
I didn't know what it was. till it went whoosh. And, you know, as I said, it's like missing your car keys and you're thinking, something's not here, something's not here. And I had a 11-year-old son. Obviously, I couldn't talk to him about it. And he kept saying, Ma, you look very relaxed. Ma, you look, you know, you look well. And I didn't know what the hell had happened. But then I began to read. In that context, I began to read a little bit here and there, bits and pieces. And I still do. But I find your pointing was the closest I saw to what I had gone through, what this human being had gone through, you know. So I think the minute you open your mouth, you've lost. You're one step away.
Yeah.
Right. And yet you do have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah, you do. Like Lao Tzu says in the Tao Te Ching, you know, the Tao that cannot be spoken of, and yet continues to write verses and verses.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Terry. It's been wonderful.
Thank you, Aparna. Thank you.
I'll join you as often as I can.
Yeah, please do. Please do.